Fawaz, Jurgis, welcome back to the program. How do you think this war has affected or even changed the dynamic in the whole Middle East?
I have been writing and researching on the Middle East for the past really 40 years. I had never seen the region as boiling, as implosive, as angry. There is so much hatred, there is so much rage, there is so much anger against both Israel and the United States. My fear is that Gaza could easily become a time bomb that really implodes regional stability. I cannot tell you the extent of popular anger and resentment and rage against the United States.
Can I ask you, how is it that this catastrophe was able to happen? Is there, I mean, obviously Hamas committed it, but did the US take its eye off the ball?
Let me be direct. Biden's foreign policy does not differ very much from Trump's foreign policy. For the past 2 years, this administration has not made any major investment in either trying to stop the building of Jewish settlements or even to try to really bring about the establishment of a Palestinian state. It pays lip service to the idea of a two-state solution. What did the Biden administration do in the past 1 year? It has tried to build up on Trump's deal of the century, bring about normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel. And why? Because in the back of the mind of the Biden administration and the Netnyahu government, normalization with Saudi Arabia would mean the end of the Arab-Israeli conflict. The underlying, Christian, the underlying idea in the administration, in the Biden administration, and Benjamin Netanyahu, is that the Palestinians can be managed, the Palestinians can be controlled, the Palestinians can be subjugated. Why should we invest in the peace process?
So the United States, you're basically saying, and we've observed, thought that it could, A, take its eye off the Palestinian ball and outsource that to these normalization deals between Israel and the Arab countries with which it's not at war. And the same, you could say, for the Arab countries. What has Saudi Arabia done or the UAE done? So what do you think the US should do now? What is this saying? And what should the Arab leaders do?
Christian, anyone who's interested in peace in the Holy Land, anyone, should recognize that the so-called two-state solution that the United States has been talking about, has been really paying lip service, has not really produced anything. In fact, while the United States has been talking about a two-state solution, what has been happening on the ground, Christian? You have now almost 1 million settlers, 1 million who live in occupied Palestinian lands on the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Israel is in a race against time to steal Palestinian land, to colonize the land. So in fact, the talk about a two-state solution has brought about the consolidation of Israel's military occupation. And guess what? The undermining and the weakening of the Palestinian Authority.
So what happens now?
Israel will never respond.
How does the United States continue its fierce loyalty, which will never change, to Israel, and finally move towards, because it's only going to be an internationalist movement, this. It's not going to be the parties who does it.
Christian, if you ask me, and I'm sorry, I really have no trust in American foreign policy anymore. I have studied American foreign policy for many years. Not because some American policymakers are not decent people, but because they really don't have the guts and the moral courage to tell Israel is enough. That American interest, and I'm talking as an American now, our interests lie in a stable, peaceful Middle East. A peaceful, stable Middle East requires the Palestinians, allowing the Palestinians to have self-determination, to end Israel's occupation, to establish two states living side by side in peace.